How Marion Works, a podcast series dedicated to informing you of the inner workings in all areas of Marion government and public services. Thank you for listening. Hello and welcome to Season 1, Episode 5 of How Marion Works. I'm your host, Layla Price-Bodkin. The vision of the How Marion Works podcast is to keep citizens of Marion, Indiana, and surrounding areas updated and exposed to all of the moving parts of the city. With hundreds of employees and a near population of 30,000 people, Marion is a city on the move and constantly evolving. So we appreciate you for being a part of this podcast that shows the greatness of How Marion Works. So today's episode is Controlling from the Background, featuring City Controller Dana Gault, Deputy Controller Lynda Faw, and HR Coordinator Chris White. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
This is really... It's crazy because it's hard to get you guys away from your work. You have a lot of work. So we really appreciate you being here in the studio, away from the office. It's nice to be away. So we're going to start with a fun little icebreaker question to get us rolling. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, Dana, I'm going to start with you. So what is your favorite musical or movie that you appreciate for its music?
My favorite movie and musical in the movie is The Godfather.
Oh,
I
nice.
love the music in The Godfather, and I love the movies, all three.
That is such a great answer. And you love the trilogy?
Yes.
Or do you love one in particular?
I like the first one, but I always watch all three.
Yes. It's so amazing seeing how young they all are. When I had that on the other day, it's like, wow, Al Pacino is so young.
Yeah.
So you like all the acting?
Yes.
And just it almost sounds symphony, like, I don't know, it's just it's like a saga.
It is.
Very dramatic.
Yes, very dramatic.
Good answer, Dana.
Thank you.
Okay, Lynda, I'm going to have you answer the same question.
My favorite musical movie is Annie.
Annie.
Yep. I've always loved that as a kid, and even growing up now as an adult. It does factor into the world today. You know, it gives us the hardship that she still had hope in spite of the hardship that she was going through. And that's exactly what we need here in Marion, that we still need the hope for today and tomorrow. So,
you know, that is wonderful. It inspires me to watch Annie again and see everything Daddy Warbucks.
Yep.
And I love it.
Yeah.
A really good answer, Lynda. Okay, Chris, do you have a favorite movie or musical?
Musical, I get this from high school background choir class, is Phantom of the Opera.
Nice.
I was not aware of the musical until our choir instructor introduced it to us, and I just fell in love with it.
So the first time you were introduced to it, you were actually performing it, or did you see it first?
Actually, we were performing a couple of the songs in the musical.
That just makes it even more special because once you do see it, it's more meaningful.
Yep.
Thank you, ladies. That's a fun start to our podcast. Okay, we're going to get into some business and just the basics. So we do want to learn more about you individually. So we'd love for you, and we'll start with Dana, to tell us about your life growing up, where you were born and raised, and how that molded you into the person you are today here sitting with us.
Yes, thank you. So I'm born and raised here in Marion, went elementary all through high school right here in Marion. So I'm a Marion Giant.
All right.
And I've always wanted to pour into my community, to donate my time, my efforts, and talents. And so starting off young, I learned from my parents, participating in different donations, giveaways, and
Philanthropic activities.
Philanthropic activities always, and still our family are big on philanthropic. Worked here all my life, and besides going to college back and forth, but I've been here, and the city has been great, and there's still a lot of work to do, so I'm staying.
Now, did you work for Marion Community Schools, or are you a board member or did you have more ties to the school system?
Years ago, I did work for Marion Community Schools. I am now currently on the board.
Okay, great. How many years now have you been on the board?
I think it's going on 7 years I've been on the board.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and you are settling well into your role because you have been the controller for over 1 year already.
1 year and 2 months.
How does it feel?
I like the role. I love the people at the City Hall. Of course, I love my city. Learning the work is, I have a great staff. So, when you start a new job, the staff is important. And so I have a great team that works with me and working with me, learning the job. They've been here a while, and you'll hear how long all three have been here. But just learning the job is new learning is challenging, but exciting that I'm still teachable.
Yeah, and I know you've had some budget experience and you've dealt with budgeting before, so it's good to know that you're already, a numbers person at least, to where you have that responsibility and that experience. So that's
yes,
great. And you're
yes.
easy to talk to, you're easy to get along with, and I feel like you're a great boss.
Thank you.
So, okay, Lynda, we're going to talk about where you were born and raised, and the same question. So basically, where you were born and raised and how that molded you into the person you are today.
I was born and raised in Marion, Indiana. I've been here all of my life. Come from a big family of 8 of us.
Wow.
So community, right, just within the family, right?
Yes, it's a community.
I went to Marion Community Schools. I graduated from Marion High School. Go Giants. Giants fight, never die.
Oh, boy.
So, right on cue.
Yes.
I participated in sports, which helped us definitely get out in the community and do different things. Community has always been important to us. We love people. My mother was in healthcare, so we were involved even in that aspect in the community, helping and church and missionary work and that type of thing. I love Marion. I love being here. I love the small community feel, and I feel like we're a community that everybody kind of helps each other. It's a giving community, and I like it here.
You've been with the city for since what year?
2006. So it'll be 19 years, April of 2000 of this year, 2025.
You are a gold mine of knowledge. I mean, we ask you a lot of questions. All the departments ask you a lot of questions based on your wisdom and your experience. So we really appreciate your longevity with the city.
Thank you.
And all of your hard work, all three of you, honestly.
Thank you.
I don't think I can say that enough.
Thank you.
Okay, Chris, I've known you for a while now because you have also been with the city for a long time, but I'd love to back way up and start with where you were born and raised and how that molded you and shaped you into who you are today with the city.
Born and raised here in Marion. Also a Marion Giant. Go Giants.
Wow. A lot of love.
So, I don't know. I started out, went to college here at the time, Indiana Business College. And from there, I got out in the workforce. I know Lynda from school. Her and I graduated together. My family knew her mother from the factory, RCA, Lynn Thompson.
I was going to say, there's a lot of connections when you all three went to Marion.
Yeah.
You're all from Marion, so it's a small world. Yeah. And so you've been with the city since what year?
November of 2000.
2000?
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. And you were not in HR at the time, correct?
No. I started out in the legal department, then moved over to the mayor's department, and then HR.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that's nice to get kind of a plethora of experience in working for the city.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've been very helpful in so many ways to these ladies here in the office.
Yes.
And it really pays off to have that kind of diverse experience. Okay, so we can actually go into what you do in the controller's office. So, Dana, what are your basic responsibilities if someone really has no idea what a controller's office does? What do you do?
I control.
Do you control what comes in?
I do. I start with controlling everything that comes in. We also have someone here in our office, Trixie Morin. She is our accounts payable. And so her and I have a lot of communication together where she brings in the vouchers and I sign all of the vouchers, different departments, budgeting different departments on a yearly, monthly, and weekly basis.
Now that's controlling what goes out too.
Sure,
So controlling what goes in,
Yes.
goes out. And yes, a big shout out to Trixie Morin, who's in the house today. I can't believe we got all of you here. And thank you, Trixie, for everything you do. You are a true rock star, and we rely on you for so much. And you have to be patient, and we do appreciate all the patience that you ladies have with all the departments and all the idiosyncrasies that we deal with in getting people paid, in taking money in. So, Lynda, what is your day-to-day job?
I assist Dana with developing and overseeing the budget. I'm responsible for payroll, managing all of the grants that come in and out of the city.
You're responsible for the pensions too, correct?
Yep. I pay all of our pensioners that are on the 37 plan. Those were the ones that hired a long, long time ago. So in 1977, they signed a new pension plan. So all of the officers that retire from that were hired in 1977 forward, the state pays them, but the ones previous to that, that we pay them at the City of Marion. So yeah,
wow.
So we maintain them. We pay all the police and fire and all the other staff as well.
Is that a big part of your role?
Yes.
I was going to say, how many of those retirees would you say that you are dealing with and getting them paid?
Yeah, when I started out doing it, we had a lot. Now we're down to about 83. So, yeah, so it's starting to dwindle off, but
that's a relief, I guess. But
I mean, kind of, I guess. But on the other side of that, that means that they have passed away. So
I see.
Yeah. So once you pass away, then you come off of the list.
It wasn't because of a change in the law.
Correct.
Good. Okay. Well, that's very interesting, and I know you are definitely a numbers person, and you have to be very organized and good at routine work that people can count on you, and so I can definitely give you all kinds of kudos for that because my day is different all the time, and so your day is pretty much the same all the time because of expectations that you set for everyone else.
Right.
Our day can be different also.
It can?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's different every day.
I would love for you to go into that. Like if something gets shaken up, what could that be that may disrupt your day-to-day routine?
Probably questions of, there's always something that, somebody might come in and say, hey, did they vacate an alley or something and they always depend on the controller's office to figure out if they vacated an alley, which in 1920, so we have all of the Board of Works books from that long ago that you might have to research, those kind of things, or just a question of, can we use money for this or can we use money for that? And you have to try to go back and find what legislation or, what the council has passed in previous years to say yes or no, or what it was supposed to be used for, that type of thing.
Like precedents based on what's been, okay.
Yes.
And then you have records upon records.
Yes.
And I don't know how far back they go or if you're able to say how far back you have it, but you don't have to because I know that they go. So I know we have a storage unit. I do know that.
Yeah, I don't know as far as the records that we have to keep permanently. And Chris would probably be better with this because we have records from like the Board of Works that you can never get rid of.
Correct.
But my guess is it started when City Hall started. I mean, I don't know.
I believe so. I believe our books go clear back to the beginning of City Hall when Marion was established. I believe they do.
Yeah.
And there's a retention schedule that we try to keep up with also. The state sends a retention schedule. So
what is a retention schedule?
what can be discarded after so many years, 10 years, 15 years.
That's interesting. So they are in constant communication with you, and they have certain expectations, and you have to provide them with reports. Mm-hmm. And I know they come in and audit periodically. How often does that happen?
They come once a year.
And how long do they usually stick around? Does it range? What's the range?
It seems like maybe they come in maybe like June, and then they probably exit in August, September, and
fun stuff.
And then they still thanks to being able to fix up our controller's office from last year, we do have a conference room back there that they were actually able to use as a resource for them to be able to audit other communities here locally, townships and that type of thing. So we actually have a little conference room in the back that we were able to allow them to use as well.
So I would love to actually get into what they do. Does someone want to explain what it is that they are doing to hold us accountable?
Sure. They come in and they audit all of our finances. They audit all of our bank reconciliations. They audit our grants. They audit all of the accounts payable. They audit the payroll. Everything that we do in the controller's office, they audit all of it.
Internal controls.
And they go as far back as?
Well, they come every year. So because we have a federal grant that's more than $750,000, we're required to have an audit every year.
Okay.
So they go back. So when they come in June or July of this year, they'll go back and audit everything that we did last year.
I see. And so there is that anticipation.
Yes.
So they're not showing up out of the blue.
Right.
You are able to prepare reports and get nested, for them to come in and do their job. Mm-hmm. And then it just starts all over again.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, Chris, we're going to get into the role of the HR coordinator. I would love for you to first explain why the HR coordinator's position is kind of grouped under the umbrella of the controller's office.
Well, Lynda and I kind of work hand in hand with her doing the payroll. I handle all of the benefits. So anything, when we have a new employee orientation, whenever they enroll into the new benefits, then I have to, in fact, get with Lynda so we can kind of coordinate the payroll deductions for their payroll.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, that does make perfect sense when you're talking about payroll and benefits and pensions, and you can be in close communication.
Yes.
So what all do you do? I know some of the things that you do because we work with you. We get to come to you and ask you questions, but I would love for you to explain your role a little bit.
So whenever we have an open position for our general departments, not police, not fire, they have their own hiring process. But any of the other departments, if they have an opening, I will usually post those job postings or the openings, or have you post them on our social media. And I take the applications, which they can always pick up an application there in our controller's office or download the fill-in version online or our website. From there, we set up the interviews. I attend the interviews, and then I do the employee orientation once the candidates are selected by the department heads, and then take care of all of the benefits as far as like the health insurance, and Lynda gets them enrolled into their retirement through the state because that's payroll deducted. But from there, I handle all of the open enrollment as far as every year when roughly October, November, I would say, we hold open enrollment where the employees can come in and change their benefits. So it's just working with our insurance brokers to make sure that the city is getting basically the same type of health care coverage at the cheapest price that we can possibly get, or comparable to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like a team job that one person is doing, but you do have good help from IMG, correct?
Correct. They are our current insurance brokers.
So how do they assist you?
So at open enrollment time, they actually send a few of their employees in to assist me in enrolling anybody that needs help, because we don't only take care of our current employees, we also have retirees and pensioners that we help take care of, and not everybody's computer friendly. So I have one day that I set aside to where those that struggle with computers, they can come in and get the assistance that they need to make sure that they're enrolled in their benefits. And then just throughout the year, you know, as questions arise about coverage issues, whether it be prescriptions or the insurance itself, if I don't know the answer, I can always call up to the girls there at IMG, and they assist me and help me out in any way possible.
Nice. How Marion Works is sponsored by the City of Marion. This podcast covers the inner workings of city government to better serve you. That's so nice that you have that assistance, and we've been working with them. We've been partnered up with them for quite some time.
Yeah.
So that's great. Does anyone want to talk about the challenges in the job? I know that there are challenges, and I don't want to put you on the spot, so you don't even have to say what the challenges are, but how do you overcome them? Like, what could be a victory that keeps you going in your job? How do you keep going? Honestly, I ask myself that question. I love my job, but it does get stressful. And I know that your department, it does get stressful.
Yeah, I think there are 17 departments within the city. And just like everybody else, your department is the most important to you. And their department is the most important to them. So being able to prioritize the requests that come in, if one department wants, new cars and another department wants new computers, for example, we only have so much money. So we have to be able to say no. That's a challenge. Just being able to say no, or say, hey, you need to work it into your budget for next year. The other challenges that I see are just trying to stay abreast on the different changes that happen, that the laws that change and what you can and can't do. Mm-hmm. Trying to stay abreast on those kind of things. But I think also another challenge is you want to be able to take care of your staff. You want to be able to, I've worked for 3 mayors now, and there's not one mayor that has come in that says, you know what, we really don't want to take care of our employees. We really don't want to give them, you know what I mean? Nobody says that. They all want to say, what can we give our employees? Well, we have to be realistic and say, I know you want to give them, 15%, 20%, but realistically, this is all we can do. So it's a challenge because you don't want to say no, but realistically, we have to say no. So I think that's one of the challenges, but also I think some of the victories are, I love our staff. I love the employees. I love being able to help them. Yeah. Shout out to all the staff. Yeah. Thank you. And also just the citizens, the people in the community. There's a lot of people that come up that they don't know. They don't know how government works. And they have questions. So just being able to direct them to the right department that can assist them with whatever needs that they have, or just any questions or whatever that they have. So to me, that's some of the rewards that you receive out of it when you're able to help people. I mean, because that's what it's all about. Yeah. We're trying to help our community. We want the hope again for tomorrow. Give people something, something to hold on to.
Thank you, Lynda. Those were very, very, very important to mention. Does anyone have anything to add on the challenges and or victories?
No, that was well said by Lynda. We concur.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to take a quick break to remind folks to stay connected with us and follow City of Marion IN on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok, as well as our website, cityofmarion.in.gov, and through My Marion app on your Android or your iPhone. Okay, ladies, we're going to get into our next icebreaker question, and I'm looking forward to these answers. So we'll start. I'm going to start with Chris. What is your favorite thing to do in Marion for fun or relaxation?
Well,
I think that was kind of a softball for her.
We know that one.
yeah, my husband and I, we are both involved in martial arts, so that is my
Punching bag?
yeah. I guess that's the best way to put it. That's my off time. So
right. You're running a business on the side.
Yes. So when I'm not at the city, I am at my business, and we've hosted a few tournaments here locally. So yeah, it's
Nice.
definitely keeps me busy. So yeah, my martial arts.
So you are an instructor?
Yes.
Wow. How many days a week does it consume you?
Right now, 4.
4 days a week.
4
So
days
it's
a
in the
week.
evenings for how long?
Usually we start, like our classes will start at 5:30. We don't get out of there until about 8:30 once everybody's done talking, and yeah.
Does that consume the weekends too, and a good part of them?
Just Saturday mornings. Other than that, we've got our evenings free to relax a little bit.
Well, I have been inspired recently by watching Cobra Kai, and we just finished it last night. And man, I had to get into Karate Kid, the movie, after that. I was like, I've got to see Mr. Miyagi. I gotta get more of that. And so we're in the trilogy right now. But I just highly, highly respect the martial art of. So you do, is it karate, it's judo, or is it just judo? Or
I do karate.
Is it karate? Okay, nice.
Yep.
Where's your business located?
34th and Adams.
Cool. Well, very good. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, Dana, what is your favorite thing to do for fun or relaxation?
My
in a
most
stressful job.
My most favorite thing to do is we are avid RVers.
Oh,
so
nice.
we travel and camp and RV everywhere.
RV
So,
life.
RV life, yes.
So where do you like to travel? I guess where is the furthest place you've traveled to?
Of course, Florida.
Nice.
But
Wow.
we love Tennessee.
Okay.
We love waking up somewhere in Tennessee when we travel and not really knowing where we are, just waking up to mountains.
So is it just you and your husband?
Yes, we take our grandchildren, our families go with us sometimes, but yeah, it's just my husband and myself.
How do you find time to do that? You do long weekends, or do you need to set aside a full week of time?
We do long weekends and set aside vacation times. Those are special, but for the most part, we all do long weekends.
That's good that you can do
Yes,
that.
and
you
short
can-
weekends.
Yeah, you can totally do that and
Yes.
feel like you've had a proper getaway. And I know that my husband and I like to do that too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
okay, Lynda, what do you like to do for fun or relaxation?
Excuse me. For fun, we are big athletic people, so we love
Nice.
sports. Our son does travel baseball, so that's what we do for fun. That takes up our whole entire life, basically.
I bet it has for a long time.
Yes, and in the meantime, my husband officiates, so I like to go to the game and watch him officiate, and yeah. So that's right now. That's really what we take. We love to travel, but I guess my probably most favorite thing to do is go. I love to go out to eat. That's
Okay,
my favorite
nice.
thing to do.
Right?
So
you
whether it's
must,
here-
you must mention a couple of places where you like to go. If it doesn't have to be local.
Okay. Well, locally, see, that's the thing too, because I love to go locally too. So, but I love Obie's.
Yes.
I love
Good answer.
Culver's.
Ooh, yeah.
I love Texas Roadhouse. Those are all local places.
Yeah, but they're
But-
feel good. I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
But for me, I like going to like Ruth Chris. That's probably my favorite steakhouse place. We also watch Diners, Dive In and Drives. So we go to
Okay.
the different places, like whatever we see. If we're traveling in Florida or if we're in South Carolina or wherever we go, we always find a place that has been on the diners, dives, and drives, and go. So we just kind of check them off as we go.
Oh, that's cool that you can find that. And how do you look that up? Because that would be fun to do.
Actually, if you go on the website,
The
guy's
diners?
website,
Okay,
and they'll show you, like, you click the state, and it'll tell you different places within that state that you can go to. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so
we actually
love to
have
travel
one
too.
in not Noblesville, Carmel. Somewhere down that way. There's one that's been on there. There's been a couple in Indianapolis that's on there. We haven't been to those yet.
Okay.
But the one it's either Carmel or Noblesville. We have been to that one. It's like a big, huge hamburger place. So,
okay. We'll definitely look that up.
Yeah.
Because, they've been featured and for good reason.
Yep.
Well, great. That was great. Thank you, ladies. So, so we're going to get into maybe what the community can do to help you. If there's anything that a citizen can do to help you in your job, to help you do your job better, or even just so that you can communicate with them, ways that they can learn what you are doing, since we are all about transparency, what is it that the community should know?
Well, I would say, I feel like that what we can do to help them. I would love for people to be educated on what we actually do. Sometimes there's what people might think that we do, and it's not accurate. So a lot of times, if you come up to the controller's office, if you go to council meetings, you can educate yourself to know actually how government works. I know when they talk about, they want money for this or money for that. Well, things have to be used for a specific purpose. So if you collect it for parks, has to be used for parks, or if you collect it for roads, it has to be used for roads. And when I tell you that the legislation and the laws and stuff change, that kind of dictates what you can use the funds for. So I think just being able to help the community be more educated on how government finances work.
That's great. I mean, that is one main reason why we even have this podcast, to help educate everyone that's interested on how Marion works and all these different facets. So this is one way, but going to the council meetings. Another thing that I would add to that, Lynda, is to go to the traveling town hall.
Oh yeah.
And really you get the hot topics, and so you get a good understanding of how city government works, but you also have a chance to ask your questions. And
right.
So any way that we can be transparent, any way that we can get the information out there to our citizens, the better.
Yep.
I agree with Lynda. That creates community when they participate in the town hall, even if it's not your area, but just participate in the town hall and the city council meetings. And then feel free, this is your city. Feel free to come to the controller's office and talk to any one of us to get information or get clarification on what we're doing up here and why. Becoming more involved creates better community.
Right. I love that.
And also, we're not afraid to say, hey, we don't know, but we can get back with you and get the answer, because not all the time do you know something right off the top.
Oh, that's probably most of the time when you're dealing with numbers. Yeah. I mean, you don't want to tell somebody.
You have to research the answer.
Because then if you misquote something, say, oh, yeah, we had $10.05, and it's like, oh, we really had $9.05. Then it's like you're stuck, you know what I mean? So just being able to give us the opportunity to do the research, get you the information,
Well, I want to definitely touch on how someone can apply. And speaking of getting the information, the controller's office has their own page. So there is a controller's office page under cityofmarion.in.gov in the government section, but then there's also human resources. And so what Chris was mentioning earlier is that if you are interested in applying for a general job, that's actually, you have all of those applications on your page for ease And one of them's general, one of them's MPD, and one of them's
Yes.
MFD. So you can see the general application. That was the fillable one that you were talking about. And that is also, so that's also under the government section of our website under human resources. Anything you wanted to add to that?
And if we have open positions, that's where they're posted.
Right. So that's where they are. And we will always put it as an announcement on our news and events section. Chris, I know that you also post to other websites that are career, basically career websites like Indeed.
Yes.
And then it also goes to Indiana Career Connect.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I didn't want to miss anything. So I know I work with you in tandem on getting that done. Anything else that we want to add today on what you want the community to know? Another shout out to Trixie for all of the great work that she does to keep the city moving and in good standing. Thank you all very much, ladies. I want to thank you for tuning in to the How Marion Works podcast. Follow us on social media and listen to the podcast on all major platforms such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and all other major platforms. Episodes release every other Monday at 5 a.m., so be on the lookout for future episodes. You can find them all at howmarionworks.com. For Dana Gault, Lynda Faw, and Chris White, I'm Layla Price-Bodkin, and this is How Marion Works. Thank you for listening to the How Marion Works podcast. We hope you'll join us next time.